Hey friends, this is Lisa Haley. I am on a debt-free journey and I'm bringing you along for the ride, such as it is. And today, we're stuffing envelopes. Okay, so I have the budget. I figured out all of my fixed expenses, my variable expenses, my sinking funds, and I got as close as I could to a zero-based budget. I was actually $2 over. I paid all but two of my fixed expenses online. The other two I have to call. So I called Blue Hen, that is our garbage disposal. I pay that one once every 3 months. So what I do is every single week I take $10 out of my checking and I put it into my savings. And then when that bill is due, I transfer that money from my savings back to my checking. And I am recording it in my expense tracker, and I am making sure that I record it as savings used when I tally up at the end of the month. But instead of being $97, now it's $99, and I only transferred $97. I happen to have an extra $2 left over in my checking account, which I used, and now it's exactly zero-based. The only one I'm waiting for is my student loan. It takes a couple days for it to process and to show. So I always have to remember that's money that I can't use. And I'm right down to 100, which is my my cushion. And it seems like, well, where'd all your money go? The money goes in here. All of these. This is all the money from everything else once the bills are paid. So let me show you how I did it. So this is my budget worksheet for this week. I'm paid weekly, so I do one every week. What I'm working with this week is my paycheck right here, my checking account right here, and $97 that I'm transferring from my savings into my checking. This is my working budget that I'm using to pay bills. I'm not touching the sinking funds, and the rest of the savings is just going to stay where it's at. So I have my budgeted amount of what I want to pay for my expenses, my fixed expenses. This is what they would total, and this is what would be left over. This is what I'm actually going to pay. So this one is different. This is what the minimum, but I'm paying 100 because I really want to start throwing money at this one. Everything else is the same. So here's the difference, and here's what's left over. Variable expenses, so these are the ones that I use to get through the week. And this is what I'm starting with. This is what I plan on paying. This is what I actually did take out of the bank to put into my envelopes. What would be left over right here and here. And then my sinking funds, now I have a new one that I'm adding in. I'm not adding more income, so what I did was I made this one. So beauty is now 5, me is now 5, and other is now 5. So that's another reason why those are accumulating, because it's going to take a long time to have anything. This is what I'm starting with, planned, actual. This is what I plan on putting in all of the envelopes, and this is what I'm actually. So I had enough to do exactly what I wanted to. This is what would have been left over. This is what's actually left over. But then Blue Hen was actually 99. So I need to change this one because when I wrote this out, this is what I thought it was. And then on this side over here, this is the record sheet for my cash envelope. This goes with that. So it's the denominations, how many, total, make sure the total equals the total, and make sure the counts here, total, and the total. All right, so there is the money lined up. I already recorded my tracker sheets just to make it easier, because you don't need to see that. And I apologize if this is messy because this is the first time I'm using this setup. 20, 40, 50, and that is cats. Next I have gas, and I have my BJ's card in here because that's usually where I go. I started with nothing. My balance is 120, but I already got gas before I stuffed the envelopes. I just took a 20 out of there. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And I've altered my dash route so that I'm hoping that is going to be enough. Last week I went over my budget and I was not happy about that. So sticking closer to home. Groceries, 40. Okay. Household is 10. Beauty. Now I already have money in here, so I'm starting with 25. I'm adding 5. And that gives me 30. Eating out, starting with nothing, adding 10. Me, starting with nothing, adding 5. Other, I'm starting with 6. I'm adding 5. And that gives me 11. And now my sinking funds. My emergency sinking fund had 100. I'm adding 20. So now we're at 120. The cat fund had 71. I'm adding 20. Now it's 91. But we're buying flea medicine this week, so that's going to be missing a big chunk of that. Medical, I started with 30. I'm adding 20, and now I have 40 because I had all of those medical expenses last month. This one is Haley Shire. No. Had 100, adding 20. Now I have 120. And that is things related to the house. But then we have a specific sinking fund just for garden. So had 80, adding 15, a 10 and a 5, and now it's 95. Whoops, I got 2 here. Cars, because I had the oil change and the tire patch, it left me with nothing. I'm getting an oil change soon, so I'm putting 40 in this one. Bucket list, she's looking really good. She's right here, so I'm adding 10 to this one. And my newest one, which I'm adding into the budget, I'm not adding more money, so I'm taking things out. So she, Crafty, can have 10 bucks. And there it is. So I still have the money. It's not in my checking account. It's right here. I can't tell you how relieved I feel knowing that I have these. This, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, I'm going to keep saying it. This gives me peace of mind. Winging it, not knowing if I'm going to have enough money to cover something, or if a purchase is going to be declined because I don't have enough money in my checking account because I'm not keeping track of what I have, just kind of guessing. I don't like that feeling. This is the money to get me through the week. And this is the money for all of the things. Not even because there's more things. But in order to have more envelopes, I either need to put less in these or I need more income. Working on that. But it feels good to know that I have these. And I mean, if it comes down to it and there's an emergency, I'm taking it out of Crafty, or I'm taking any of these. It's all my money, mine and my husband. It's our money. So if we need it for something, we have it. And the more I do this, the more we have. So that's the plan. The only downfall I see to these is like if I need to get flea medicine, I can't just run to the pet store because this might not be with me. So I have to plan if I want to make a purchase or go to the doctor or something, make sure I take the envelope with me because I'm not swiping my card. The last time I swiped my card is when I bought my winter coat in January. My purple coat, matches the hair, $32. That's the only purchase I made in January. I don't regret it because it's a fantastic coat and I really needed one. And I'll tell you what, I don't think the coat that I had would be sufficient for the weather that we've had this past week. So no regrets, but that one is going down. Anyway, thanks for joining me in playing with the money.